March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Only 62% of Nebraskans over 50 get screened for colon cancer. It's one of the lowest rates in the country, and we'd like to improve on that today and also make sure you know about these kits. Chris Snowart is a colon cancer survivor and volunteers with the Great Plains Colon Cancer Task Force. It's nice to see you.
Thanks. I really appreciate you having me here.
Well, I know your story has been in a few places around. If our viewers have kept tabs on the guy running a half marathon and the story, because you've been a tremendous inspiration. But I want to start with your diagnosis, Chris. When did you find out you had cancer?
So the story goes back just a little bit. If you go back to my mid to late 20s, my idea of working out was to go to the gym and bench press and then go out and maybe have a beer or two. That was my workout. I met my wife when I was about 28, and she's the runner. And so that kind of converted me into more of the actual cardio exercising and maybe really truly working out. And I got into running, got into long distance running and triathlon and all of that. So you fast forward to 2012, and I'd say I was probably in the best shape of my life at that point. The year was off to a good start, feeling great, but I had some symptoms that were raising my eyebrows just a little bit, and actually started with that specific test as the first test that I took, which at that point, this would have been March of 2012, confirmed that I had blood in my stool. So that, of course, then allowed my doctor to get a colonoscopy scheduled. So May 21st of 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. And this was 2 months after running the Lincoln Half Marathon and one of my faster times that I'd ever ran.
It changed everything.
It changed it real quick. Suddenly you start thinking, short term, 5 weeks of chemo and radiation,
and you've
surgery.
got girls. You've got these 2 little girls at
home.
So
that's funny you bring that up. I was going to mention, I have 11 and 13-year-old girls who were 7 and 9, and we mentioned off air they're not happy they missed JoJo this morning. So, but they're on spring break and
never
they
mind
slept
Dad
in.
on TV. JoJo Siwa was on the morning.
That
blend.
wasn't important enough to get up,
No.
but JoJo would have been. So
I'm glad you are here, though, Chris, sharing your message, because this point of awareness is critical. You were keeping an eye out, but a lot of people think, well, if I'm physically fit, then my chances of getting cancer are just so low, it's not even worth worrying about. But you kind of prove otherwise.
Nearly 1 in 5 people in their lifetime will get colon cancer. Right now, it is the 3rd most common cancer in men and the 4th most common cancer in women, and it is the 2nd deadliest cancer overall. But you're exactly right, and being fully transparent, I didn't initially respond to my symptoms. It took me a month or two, being 39 and feeling healthy. But if I'd have waited too much longer, there's a pretty good chance I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Let's go through your story and then apply it to our viewers. The first step was this test, and this month, before our visit began, I said, how often do you get something for free in healthcare? This is free.
Yep.
Where do we get one?
So I'm part of the Great Plains Colon Cancer Task Force. That's a group that I got involved with a couple of years ago, phenomenal group of volunteers that we do a number of things to raise awareness and education. One of the things we do is we distribute over 2,000 of these kits to pharmacies, retail organizations all through the metro area. If you are over 50, you can walk in and just say, I want the test, and they'll give it to you. Otherwise, I think if you have reasons, you have family history, or you have symptoms you're a little bit concerned about, you should probably start that conversation with your doctor. And they will have these also. That's actually where I got my first one.
What is the name of this test?
This is the FOBT kit.
Okay.
And you should be able to walk into any pharmacy and you say FOBT kit.
They know.
They should know very clearly what it is that you're looking for.
Colonoscopy was another part of the story for you. At what age should we start looking at those?
So there's really 3 criteria that I'll go over with colonoscopy. If you're over 50, again, probably conversation with your doctor, but it would make sense to do that.
You were 39.
I was 39.
Okay.
If you are, lately they've actually said if you are 45 or older and African American, then get a colonoscopy. The other one's family history. If you have family history of colon cancer, you should be looking, the number we're hearing right now is 10 years earlier than when your brother, sister, mother, father had it, that you should be getting a colonoscopy.
So if they were diagnosed at 52, 42,
exactly,
start getting a colonoscopy.
Doctors may not like me saying this, but in my experience, based off my experience, I think the earlier the better, but those are the benchmarks to get that done.
What's your message now about colon cancer in March or any time of the year? What do you say to people about the disease?
You know, I get a lot of questions about cancer in general. I know March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and the biggest question I get is when somebody diagnosed like what can I do for them? I would say two things. If you are diagnosed, if you're a family member, you're going through this, I think live every day one by one. Don't think 3 months ahead, don't think a year ahead. Think, what do I have to accomplish today? What do I need to do to be positive today? I can worry about tomorrow when it gets here. But then for the support team, and you talked about my story being in the community, 90% of my story is my support team. It's not me. It's the things that they did, my wife, my college roommates, my coworkers, my family. But lean on that support team. That's what gets you through this, not yourself. It's not an individual thing, it's a team thing for sure.
Well, part of that support system now is the organization that you volunteer with, and it's a ton of volunteers, and they do it not because it's worth the time. Getting this message out is so important to them, and it's why Chris wanted to be here today to make sure you understand that the FOBT, that kit, is available at all kinds of places in the Omaha area and beyond. If you'd like to plug into the organization, you can call the number on the screen there or coloncancertaskforce.org. But would you hand me that envelope? Because there's something on the front of this envelope that says, "Thank you for taking care of your health." And as uncomfortable as some people might, like certain types of cancer are make some people a little bit uneasy. That's why we'll talk about it on live television, because your health is totally worth it. Chris, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
And please give our best to your girls.
Will do.
Okay, I hope you guys got a selfie with JoJo that you can at least show them.
We did. We've already sent that and rubbed it in a little bit.
Like any good parent should. Thank you so much.
You bet, thank you.